It's the right time. It's the right place. It's Friday again. These weeks go so fast, but I'm getting younger. It's amazing. Hello, greetings, and welcome to everybody around the world joining Silverstone Live on Facebook, and to those of you watching the recorded video on my YouTube channel. And welcome to our audience listening to this Time Out with Philip Silverstone podcast on TuneIn Radio around the world, and also, I'm not done yet, on Silverstone, thesilverstonecollection.com, thesilverstonecollection.com website, where we also have photos that will be shown on today's program and all the links that you need. This week's show, by now you all know this, this show every week is what I meant to say, looks at fashion, entertainment, and all the fun stuff of life. This is where you come for fun, to get away from all that nastiness out there. A special guest joins me for the hour live. I haven't had any dead guests yet, so that's really good. But the guest joins me for an hour, and you can post your thoughts during this live broadcast below the live stream, and I'm sure my guest will respond to as many as possible. Guests, comments, whatever. If you want to send cash, I'm not giving you the guest's address, you'll have mine. And if you're watching on YouTube, I always forget to mention this, but it's very important. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on TuneIn Radio, please hit that subscribe button so you can have each week's show delivered to your feed. Makes you sound like a dog or a cat, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm midway through my first ever independent film festival, and this is going to be running through the beginning of March, and I'm featuring a guest from a new independent film each week. If you've not seen the previous shows, just go to YouTube and you will see them. As always, I'm going to take a moment to have a word from the people that pay some of the bills around here to keep the lights on and everything. I will be back with the guest, my guest, your guest, our guest, in a few seconds. Let's roll this tape. This week's show is sponsored by a company I've worked with for many years and who bring peace of mind to my family and to me. They're a welcome sponsor who I endorse 100% for their services to the Philadelphia community. Best Auto Tags has been family owned and operated for exactly 70 years. Christopher Laughlin runs the business started by his father George, who returned from active duty in the South Pacific in World War II. And in 1949 he opened Best Auto Tags. I used two locations because I adore the teams working at both offices, one in Ardmore and one in Paoli. Natalia, Jackie and Denise can be found in the Ardmore location at 39 East Lancaster Avenue, 610-896-6300. Oh, it's located in this picturesque suburb with plenty of parking alongside their store. Once you buy your car, Best Auto Tags takes over for you, which is especially welcome by new residents to PA. Best Auto Tags gets all of the paperwork sorted out and processed while you're in their office. These services include the title, transfer of old license plates or purchasing new ones, and registration. They have an in-house notary public and they're a bonded agent. Drive away in confidence from Best Auto Tags, where your car, business, home and your life are all in their capable hands. That man's voice really gets on my nerves. I can't stand it. But we have to pay him. We have to pay him to do that. Anna Rizzo is an actress and singer-songwriter who grew up in New Hampshire in New England. Anna earned a degree in music from Berklee College of Music. In addition to acting and singing, Anna also plays the piano and the clarinet. Her career CV runs to several pages, so I can't go through it now, I'll take up the whole show. But it covers her acting roles in numerous feature films, short films, television, and commercials. And on occasion, the films have incorporated her beautiful singing voice. You can also add a podcast series to Anna's resume. She has said that she likes the challenge of playing a character who makes controversial choices that Anna can justify in her own mind. Anna Rizzo is here to chat with me, not only about her life and her amazing career, but the brilliant new film now available everywhere in North America and the UK called The Wrong Todd. This is an independent film directed masterfully by Rob Schulbaum, who worked for almost a decade on the cult TV series Family Guy. Anna is in our virtual green room, and before I bring her onto the show, I thought we'd just get a sample of her craft. So let's roll tape with Anna's craft.
I met him 8 years ago, film festival. He saw my short and he swooped in on me. Said he saw a great future for me, major films, awards. Take your time. He got kind of grabby. I left, went up to my room. Turns out his room happened to adjoin mine. He came in this silk robe and he wouldn't take no for an answer.
Was this in New York?
No, South by Southwest in Austin.
And you still audition for him?
I've seen actresses so traumatized by him, they leave the business.
If you're happy, then you know what, clap your hands. Would it kill you to smile? Smiling is cheaper than plastic surgery, you know that?
Just stop! Stop, okay? I want him because I fucking want him. And I slept with you because I felt like shit, and I am sorry that sounds so bad. But you made me feel better.
Stop apologizing. I want this, but I need to know that you do too.
You made me look dumb in front of Randolph.
Somebody's been messing with this case since day one.
I was looking through the files and I was thinking the same thing. You think it's Randolph?
Could be suing accounting. Could be anyone. I don't know.
So how do we get her?
I vowed that I would never let that happen to someone else again. That's why I'm here. I'm sorry.
So, I inherited an unsuccessful restaurant and a seat at the poker table.
And a gambling problem.
I don't have gambling problems.
You want to bet?
What odds are you giving me?
Look, George, I'm trying to help you, but right now I really need you to turn this projector on.
Why?
For the Martians.
I can help pay for it.
No, it's my fault. I got it.
It's not your fault.
No, it's not my fault.
Well, it's not just your fault. Although, I'm not quite sure why you would just assume that you could finish inside me.
Why wouldn't you just ask if I was on the pill?
Well, why don't you tell me that you're not on the pill and or go on the pill?
Because not everyone is on the pill.
Apparently not.
Okay, plan B, $60. Store brand is 50.
I am delighted to welcome Anna Rizzo onto this show. Hello, Anna.
Hi.
And I have to ask you a question. I was just watching the show reel again. I've watched it many times. That scene when you were crying your eyes out, was that when somebody first told you that you were going to be on this show? Is that that was an amazing scene? How I'm always in awe of somebody that can just do that. You know, you must have been. From now on, if you're asked to do a scene like that, all you got to do is I'll send you a photograph of me, and and that will bring it on instantly, right? Anyway, thank you so much. We have a beautiful picture of you. I shouldn't say that, but we have a beautiful picture of you this week. You've already got a heart from somebody, so that you've got somebody in love with you out there. We've got a lot to cover, so I must ask you ahead of time, so I know ahead of time. Do you have a few minutes at the end extra if we run over the hour? Good.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, you may want to get out of here before. You first discovered and fell in love with acting in high school after auditioning for The Importance of Being Earnest. Did you get the role?
I did. And what was really funny is my parents told me I should go audition for it because at that point I knew I sang and I knew I played piano. And they were like, they're never going to cast you in a straight play, but maybe if you start auditioning, they'll just get familiar with you. And then in several years, they'll cast you for a musical. And so then there I was playing Gwendolyn in The Importance of Being
Oh, you were
Earnest.
Gwendolyn.
Yes.
How was now you were in high school? How was your English accent, or did it play? Was it a New England accent?
Uh, we had a teacher who took things very seriously. So he would make us practice and practice and practice and practice. And so, yeah, New England accents were not acceptable.
I think I read on your resume, because I've spent the whole week with you. I do with our guests. I think I read on your resume that you do various English dialects. So at the end of the, I was going to say at the end of the show, maybe I'll get you to say something in English, real English, proper English. So I'm going to zip through. I want to get through some of your life. There's so much that interests me, and of course this show's all about me. It's all about me learning more about the guest. You attended Berklee in Boston. It's the preeminent, ladies and gentlemen, preeminent Institute of Contemporary Music and the Performing Arts, where you received your degree in music. Did you go to any performing art classes, and did you appear in any productions there?
So when I went, they had like some light musical theater classes, but then kind of as I was going and I think within my like junior year there, they added a that you could have a minor in drama.
Mm.
And so they just added a bunch of extra classes, luckily for me. And I just happened to have taken all of most of the classes that qualified. By the time they added the major, I only had like one or two more I needed to take.
Oh, so
Left up for me.
but I was on their site and I was reading a little bit because this is how I discover all the great institutes, all the great universities around the country and around the world. I'm not familiar with, and I know the music course offers a range of multidisciplinary studies. Which concentrates on some serious things like history, performance, composition, improvisation, and it triggered this sort of thought in my mind or question that this intense study of music, I know, must have prepared you for acting in many ways because there's so many similarities in the learning process, isn't there?
I always really felt like the two were very intertwined for me.
Yeah.
Like I always felt like when I was in high school, it was kind of always this thing of I did all of the drama classes and then all of the music classes, and people were kind of always like, well, which one would you pick? And for me, it was, they were the same thing. It's being able to convey story through, especially singing, where it's being able to convey story and emotion through the instrument that is the human body.
Yeah, I
And
was just going to say that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And so if for me it was kind of what I loved about it was learning all of the technical stuff, and like I really loved learning like the music theory and the history and learning how to improvise and learning different styles and and then the music theory behind each different styles like jazz or kind of contemporary rock or classical music. And for me, it was really being able to break something down into the nuts and bolts of it that I do feel like really then helps with acting, where it's really learning how to show up for something with that level of specificity and really being able to show up. And I find a lot of times when I get a script, I kind of treat it like music, where it's kind of knowing the beats of it and knowing how it flows together and where it kind of rises and where it falls and what the tempo is. And
Right. Yeah, I can understand that. I like the fact that you use the word instrument because the body is an instrument, and it's
yeah.
not too many people think about that. We're thinking along the same lines here. What is it about being by the water that you love so much? Is it time to think, time to reflect, or to sit quietly and learn your lines, or just to be alone and veg out for a while? I know that you love that, as do I. We have a lot in common.
Honestly, probably all of the above. Um, I find, I don't know, I just feel like we get so busy, and at least for me, I get so action oriented and goal oriented and like just doing all the time. So there's something about being able to be in nature in general that's very calming. And then I think for me, maybe it's the auditory ness of being around like the ocean or something like that. And, like the sound of the waves I find very relaxing. Yeah.
The sound, the smell, and in the
Yeah.
summer, the sound. I love the sound in the summer of the seagulls, and
Yes.
yeah, it is great. And I mean, we have a lot of water on the planet, so we should take
I know.
advantage of it.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think it's that thing too, where, since it's our instrument is our body, being able to calm it down
yeah,
and relax it is important in being able to show up and just do stuff.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it is better than a Valium. Just taking a.
Yes.
But the only thing is, when I walk on a beach, I
Mhm.
tend to spend too much time thinking about things I'm trying to get away from. But if I sit, I don't know about you, but if I sit on a beach or by a lake, we have a lake not that far from where we live. Just there's this romantic feeling that goes through you, and this just idyllic flow of air and life. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So next time I'm at a lake, I'll think of you at another lake.
I
So
hope I'm there.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure you will be. In the movie The Second Life, you're the elusive love of a reincarnated man. In
Uh-huh.
Sundown, you're a fiercely independent and privately grieving woman who is in love. She's the love interest of a gambling man. And on the seventh date, you have a tough choice to make regarding your love interest. You were clearly, and I said this at the beginning, I think, you were clearly drawn to gritty, tough, independent women's roles. Is that who you are?
It's certainly what I would like to identify myself as. I mean, like, I think we are all things, but those are definitely the roles that, like, I feel like I connect to and I get really excited about when I read them because there is just this, like, raw messiness that I really like being able to explore.
There's many things that I've found out about you that I identify with, and I think are quite uh, poignant and beautiful. British actor Sir Ben Kingsley says that he sees actors as hunters and as part of a tribe, hunting for the truth in a scene, the truth in a character. You love that quote, and
I love that.
and you clearly recognise the point he's making. And
Mhm.
I don't know if it's his British accent or the fact that he's a sir, but he says it. He says it with such dramatic effect. But you're
Yes.
part of a tribe, aren't you? And you are hunting.
hmm hmm
What are you hunting for?
Well, but I think it's that thing for me. I really resonate with doing it in film, and especially something like Wrong Todd, where it was just like this crew of people and this cast of people that just pulled off an impossible shooting schedule, and you just have to come together and figure out how to make this thing under whatever obstacles you come up against, whatever circumstances. And to me, what I love most about creating with other people is I can show up and prepare so much, and the other person can show up and prepare so much. But at the end of the day, there's just kind of this thing that shows up with us that kind of, like, I can do so much work on the scene, and the other actor can do so much work on the scene, and the director can set up the shot, and the lighting can be what it is, but then there's just this little magic that happens, and maybe it's, there's some little accident, or there's some little impulse that you get in the moment. And I think that's what really resonates with me when I hear him talk about being hunters and you're looking for the truth of the scene, is that there's only so much we can do individually, and it's learning to kind of go out together and explore it, and then be open to this spark of creativity that's just more than what you could have pre-planned or done on your own.
I'm thinking as you're saying that probably an actor who's doing 6 or however many performances a week on stage has a much better shot at that, because or she has so many opportunities to go back and gnaw a little bit more away, and also I know actors on the stage like to sometimes keep their fellow actors in a scene with them on their toes by maybe throwing a little something their way. So you're unfortunately not getting the full impact of that in a scene, especially if you're asked to do it more than once, and maybe you thought, oh, I nailed it the first time, but I blinked or something. So it must be very frustrating sometimes as an actor to think, I nailed it in that scene, but I'm not the director.
So when I was younger, yeah, like when I was earlier at film acting, I would kind of feel that, where it's like, I don't know if it's going to get better than that. But the thing that I've learned is that I think there's a trust that if we do the scene again, it might not be the same, and something else might happen. But if I don't judge it ahead of time, it might be better.
Yeah.
Or it might be cool in a different way.
Yeah. I suppose so. I mean, there's so many elements involved there. There's so many pieces of the pie. I just want to mention to our viewers on the live show that we're not getting this week, and we had this about a year ago, we're not getting any comments or anything coming through. So if you are trying to post comments, you may just have to watch the show and just be quiet this week. I'm sorry about that, or it may adjust itself, but I'm not seeing any comments. So it's not your problem, it's our problem. It's actually Facebook where we're going out live. You and Anna, talking to you now, not them. You and Sarah Chase have a podcast called Chaos Life.
We do.
And in the episode called Permission to Play, you mentioned a really important topic, and I know you mentioned it, but I wanted to touch on it here because it's really something that I've never thought about before. For a creative person who is dependent on a casting director for getting a role in a film or a play, how do you, as an actor, release the creativity that's inside you in the downtime between jobs?
Well, some of that's why I've started doing the podcast with my friend. So I'm just finding.
You're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to say. No, go on.
No, like it's just kind of is finding other outlets that might not be specifically acting. But for me, what has been really helpful is one of the things that you run into as an actor is you're always auditioning for things, and then you have no control over whether they cast you or not.
Yeah.
Because it's what serves the story best. And so maybe your version of it was great, but they just really need someone who's taller, they need someone who's shorter, they need someone who's older, they need someone who's younger. Like there's so many different nuances to each person, and then like each person brings such a different thing to each role. And so much of it is out of your hands, and so much of it is out of your control. And you kind of go in and you prepare this thing, and then you just send it off into the ether. So I have found I really love just taping my own stuff once a week and just like setting it up like it's a practice audition and just having that for me as a like, oh, look what I've done. And
Yeah. There's, I
yeah,
mean, that's a great idea. It's a fabulous idea. Your profession is the only profession I can think of where if you're in a play and it runs for 2 months, or if you're in independent films, tend to take 2 weeks of shooting. Feature films take a little bit longer, where probably 6 or 7 times a year you're going for interviews, job interviews. I mean, most people don't think of that. They have a job, they go for the interview, and they're in the job for however many years. You're interviewing all the damn time, unless, of course, you're making $100 billion a year, and you can call your own shots. But that's firstly, it's going to the wrong people, because people like you should be doing that. But it's tough. It's tough. It's demoralizing. And I really think that doing a podcast, I think doing a podcast does give you an outlet, and it's a great podcast. And we'll put the link out for that. I listened to quite a few. As I said, I've been with you all week. I can't get rid of you. Sarah also is a photographer, and I have, as my audience knows, I have become obsessed with photography. I've been working with some great models, and I looked at some photographs that she took of you, and I want to put these, with your permission, on the screen. I'll tell you, you don't know, so I'll tell you which ones I picked out. I believe these were all by Sarah. I'm sure they are. So I'm going to put the first one on the screen now. This is you wearing a black outfit, looking back over your left shoulder out the window. That is, again, as a photographer, I'm looking at the way she's got the light hitting you. It makes you, it just makes you look so different. And it makes it's a very powerful shot. And you're looking longingly out at the ocean, I guess. So that's the first photo. I wanted to put that up. The second one, number 2, what is this? This is probably the same outfit, with you with one leg back on the stool, with your hand over your head, with a headache, looking back with the window straight behind you. That is magnificent, that light. And shooting into a window is so difficult. These are my favorite shots in the whole world that I've seen of you. So I'm just telling you, this is why I'm putting them up, and then you can comment on them. The third shot, this one, it's full screen. It's blocked you out. This is you wearing that fur, that hoodie, that fur hoodie. Do you love those 3?
yeah. I mean, like, and I guess that's like the advantage of having your best friend be a photographer. Is like there's a comfort and an ease, and so like I feel like, yeah, I just feel so comfortable around her. And then when she, like, that fur photo wasn't even part of the shoot. It was just, we were standing outside and she just snapped the camera as we were talking.
For me as a photographer, I don't want to get off onto this too much, but I've had a couple of models who got upset because I took their photos when they weren't posing, and I don't like posing. And also, I'm thinking as we're talking that when a photographer, whether it's a friend or not, is snapping you, it's the same as a director or the person behind the camera on the film. You have to have so much trust in these people that they are going to present you in a light that you'll be proud of, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I contacted Sarah, and I asked her to tell me something very embarrassing about you.
Oh, no.
It's okay. And she wrote back, quote, "Besties don't surprise besties with any embarrassing stories. But I will say this," carrying on the quote now, "Anna is one of the kindest, wisest, most grounded people I know. She redefined I think I'm going to cry. She redefined what friendship means to me. I am immensely proud of her in life and in her career." So that's what she said about you. That's Sarah Chase. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Sarah Chase, if you go to Instagram, it's Sarah, Sarah, period Chase, Chase. That will be on all of our links. She's a wonderful friend.
She is a wonderful friend and a wonderful human, and I just like, I am so lucky I met her.
Can I meet her?
Yeah.
I don't have a wonderful friend like that. They all say I'm a son of a bitch. But anyway, again, I want to repeat, because something wacky is going on here, but I want to repeat to those of you watching today's show live on Facebook that we're not getting a feed from you. I know you're watching it because I've checked and the show is very much running. So I do apologize, but I tell you what, if you want to comment at the end of the show, I will pass all the comments on to Anna and get you answers back. But I do apologize that you can't participate this week. It gives me more time to talk to her anyway. You Shall Know Our Velocity is a 2002 novel by David Eggers. You said, quote, anything by David Eggers, it's fantastic. And then I was thinking, I did a little bit of thinking, whether this particular book resonated with you, because it's a story about a frustrating attempt to give away money to deserving people. And you starred in Moments from a Sidewalk, the much acclaimed film about homelessness. Did those two have any connection for you?
You know, it's interesting. I don't even remember when I read that, and I feel like I definitely hadn't made that connection. But to me, like, what I love his writing because I feel like it's what I aspire to when I'm acting. Like, I feel like he kind of has this stream of consciousness, like, style that to me, like, when I'm really in character and thinking the thoughts of the character, that's what it feels like. It's just kind of this just honest dialogue with a really clear, fleshed out person. And that book in particular, I like, yeah, I just, there's something, obviously there's something really wonderful about the idea of just kind of like taking all this money and just going and traveling the world and not even like, they don't even have a plan. They just go to wherever they buy a ticket for that day and are just kind of, I don't know, there's something so freeing and exciting and rebellious and surrendered about that I just find really thrilling.
And you can see I've been stalking you. I come from another universe. I've been stalking you and trying to put your life, trying to do some Freudian stuff here on you. Before we devote the rest of our chat to the Wrong Todd, which is what today's show's all about, but I need to find out about you. I'd like to play a scene from Moments from a Sidewalk and let the audience hear your beautiful voice. Your character in this film is penniless after her father suddenly dies and the bank takes their small farm. She moves to the big city where the streets become her home and her music is her only refuge. So this is Moments from a Sidewalk. We're going to roll the tape now.
Whiten boughs all around, where they light and voices resound, dim in the gleaming. Oh, bien-aimé. Cloudy mirror, waters below, darkly the pillars in outline show, where winds are weeping, en vaste étang d'apaisement semble descendre du firmament que l'astre disait. C'est le escape
That was beautiful.
Oh,
That
thank
was
you.
so beautiful. God.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I thought I would. I'll leave this up to you, Anna. I was going to give a little insight into the Wrong Todd to our audience, or you can do it. I just think I don't. It's up to you. You've done it so many times. If you'd like to do it, you can do it, or I can do it. It's up to you.
I would say you do it because my version of it is going to be very skewed towards Lucy's perspective.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to give a generic thing because I don't want to. I don't want to give anything away. This is, as I've told you and I told Rob, this is a remarkable film. Hard to believe it's an independent film. Meaning, because I know the budgets are so stupid, stupidly low. But anyway, I'm going to give everyone out there an insight into the Wrong Todd. Rob Schulbaum is, as I already said at the top of the show, is best known for his almost 10 years working as an editor on the cult TV series. I think I can call it a cult TV series, Family Guy. His award-winning directorial debut, The Wrong Todd, sprinkles some sci-fi into his comedy drama, which focuses on the lives of people on a parallel universe. Resistant to change, Todd, Jesse Rosen, finds himself at a crossroads when his girlfriend, Lucy, the beautiful actress, her name is Anna Rizzo, is offered a promotion in Seattle. It's on the opposite coast of America where they live. Before he can decide whether to stay or go, Todd's twin from a parallel universe arrives to take his place. And Todd has to face the prospect of a world without Lucy, one of the Todds. Lucy ultimately has to decide between the wrong Todd and the right Todd. And believe me, it's not complicated. It's complicated when I tell it to you. It's not complicated. But Anna, let's forget about the minimal science fiction aspect of the film. And I say minimal, I'm not putting it down. It's remarkable. It's very Doctor Who-ish for those of us who are Whovians. It's actually, folks, you'd love this, those of you that like Doctor Who or Star Trek, it's a trans-dimensional transporter in an RV. Now, the sci-fi element is there for the alternative universe transfer of Todd into the storyline. You can't just plop someone and say, hello, I'm from you. So this was, and it's very cleverly done, folks. It's very cleverly done. It doesn't labor the point, but it's very cleverly done. It is important, but that's the sci-fi part. Then we accept the fact of the premise. This is a film, first and foremost, for me, and you know, I hate critics, and I'm not a critic, so everyone's got a subjective view. This is a film, first and foremost, about love and the loss of friendship. It's a film about maturing, realizing how much somebody means to you when it might be too late to show them or tell them, and also a film that shows how you can recalibrate your attitudes and outlook on life. Right?
Yeah.
That's it,
those
right?
other things like it.
I mean, this is truly a love story. And the woman they're in love with, you see, I would go to the same lengths for the woman they're in love with, you know. Well, that was a compliment. She didn't take the compliment. Hey, listen, before we start talking about this, I've done the introduction. I think we'll show the trailer, and which a lot of people who follow this show have seen, and I'm sure you can fall asleep for 2 minutes. You've seen this so many times, but this is a wonderful trailer. So we're going to show the trailer to this movie, folks, and watch out for Frying Pan. So I tell you what, I think they got a discount on frying pans in this film. Here we go. Roll tape.
So you'll be disoriented at first. Just try and land on your feet.
And things will be different?
That's what you paid for.
Hey, Todd.
Who are you? I'm you. Slightly thinner you. Wait, what?
Look, Todd, I have a problem.
What's your problem?
You.
So what about all the stuff you said last night?
I wasn't myself last night.
He's open, he's romantic. It's like he's a whole new Todd.
What are you doing in my house?
Your house?
Dave, there's another me! And you have a mustache! Why do you have a mustache?
He's talking crazy.
He needs to see a doctor.
Is there a 24-hour mental institution I can bring him to?
I have a theory. You're not gonna like it.
What's your theory, Dave?
I don't think that's Todd.
He sent me here. He stole my girlfriend. Todd, don't you understand? I'm in the wrong universe.
How many times do I have to tell this story?
Just one more time.
And then other me hit me with a frying pan. And now Dave has a mustache.
Can't I just have him committed?
No.
You know, I don't know how many times I've watched that, and every time and you know what? That music reminds me of early Woody Allen film music. You know, it gives you at least a sense that there's some fun in this film. You know, you said what attracted you to the science fiction genre was a writer who picks a cool concept in science fiction and runs with it. This is a brilliant concept. It's filmed with a small budget, but crafted by the talents of the cast. Let's be honest. Plus the cinematographer, the editor, and the creator and director. It is an emotional 90-minute roller coaster, and so fabulously entertaining.
Oh.
You want to add anything to that? In other words, I like it a lot. You want to add anything to that? I'm going to watch it again.
You know, it's funny because like this was such a labor of love for me, and like I just remember reading the sides, which is when you're auditioning for something, they send out like just a small portion of the script, and the script that they sent out for the Lucy character was the scene where she tells him that she's got this promotion, or she tells her boyfriend Todd that she's gotten this promotion in Seattle, and he doesn't take it well. And I fell in love with the writing just from that little portion of it. And Rob Schulbaum he wrote such an incredible script. Like, it has so much heart. The characters are so real.
Yeah.
And this was just like, it was one of those where the way that everyone just gelled and came together when we were filming this was astounding. And, you know, the film sets really live or die on collaboration and being able to like work together. And this was just like, I haven't experienced anything like that before. And it was so special to me. And I feel like that love that everyone put into it, I feel like it's just kind of there in the film, and that you can just feel that it was by people who care about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everyone in the film, from the small, nobody really had a small role, except maybe Derek K. Moore. And I told you
before, fantastic. He's so good.
He's so brilliant. I told you. I already sent him a note and told him that, you know, he's so brilliant. But what I was thinking is Rob's experience in Family Guy. It clearly shows in this film. He has said that what he learned most from Family Guy was the anatomy of a joke, the timing, what it took to achieve that timing, since the timing and the editing of the funny moments nails it every time. The Wrong Todd has impeccable timing throughout. Did Rob work with you very diligently on timing, or was that something that was done in the editing room?
You know, honestly, I would say it was maybe even what he did in writing the script, because I found it was so well written that you could just say it and the jokes would just say themselves. And I feel like as an actor, really good writing gives you everything that you need. You just have to, like, it goes back to clearing the instrument. You just have to be open to it and then follow what the writing's doing. And it's just all there. And so we had no time for rehearsals. We had one table read, and we shot all of this in under 2 weeks. I think it was like 12 days total. Like, and we had to film so much that we didn't really have time to really sit and rehearse. So I think it's really a testament to how well he wrote it, and then also his amazing editing.
Yeah, I mean the editing on this film is so fabulous. And when I was watching the film, I thought about it. Reminded me of it was almost giving little nods to different films. I'm sure again this is me just putting too much into it, but it's got a nod to Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart, and there's a drizzling of Back to the Future and a film with Gwyneth Paltrow from about 15 years ago called Sliding Doors. No, I don't think everyone saw that. And I know that one of the inspirations for this film was Groundhog Day, which I've seen 70 times, I think. But The Wrong Todd is the perfect antidote for the poisonous and selfish times in which we live. You could retitle it, Let's Make Human Beings Great Again.
No.
Don't you think so? Don't you think that that the timing now, without getting into why I'm saying this, because we're not going to get into ugly things on this show, but we need to have something just pumped into us to give us hope and to give us a chuckle. But this film is more than it's sold. I mean, it's sold as a sci-fi comedy drama, but it really is a love story. And I came away feeling, yes, I love the ending. Yes, I love the way everyone grows within this film or changes within this film. And if they can do it, we can do it, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think that's a testament to everyone's acting and there's a pivotal. I want to get your opinion in a second about this, but for me, there's a pivotal moment in the film, and I'd like to play the clip of it now. And I have to extend my appreciation to director Rob Schulbaum. I asked his permission to play it. He allowed me to play this clip. I want when we come back from playing this clip, I want you to tell me if you agree that this is the pivotal moment. If there's another pivotal moment, you can tell me. If you can tell me, I don't know. You may have to kill me afterwards. But we're going. This is a pivotal. I can't say that word. A pivotal moment for me, folks, in the film. Here we go. Let's roll this tape.
So, there's an opening at work.
Mm-hmm.
It's the VP of marketing, and my boss says the job is mine if I want it.
That's amazing.
It's in the Seattle office.
Seattle, Washington?
I want to go.
It's gonna be a hell of a commute, babe. But I mean, if you're committed, I bet you could just, you take.
And I want you to come with me.
You being serious right now?
Mm-hmm.
I've never even been to Seattle.
You've never really been anywhere outside of New England.
That's my point.
Mine too. What? What are you thinking?
I don't want to move. I like it here. I like the way things are. Why are you making that face? What?
I knew you would do this.
Do what?
Cop that bullshit, resistant attitude you have all of the time.
What?
You didn't even think about it.
What do you want me to say? You want me to be excited by the fact that my girlfriend is taking a job across the country without even talking to me about it? Fine, well, I'll pack my bags tonight. Let's leave tonight, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, forget it. Just forget I asked.
What are you doing? Are you sleeping me out? Lucy. Lucy!
Pivotal moment?
Yeah.
I love that scene. Are you sleeping me out? Is that an expression that's used? I'm not familiar with that.
I don't know, but I just like I really resonated with because I might have slept people out once or twice when I've been mad. So I really connected with that moment.
I do have a question I want to ask you. I'm going to say it slowly, not because I
Mhm.
don't think you're smart, but because I want to make sure that I express it the right way. So it's kind of a two-part question because this just, I'm sure this must have happened. We only see you in one universe,
Mhm.
and this triggers the questions. Did Jesse Rosen, and listen to the whole question first. I really want to get this question over to you because this is this is what I really wanted to find out. Did Jesse Rosen ever go into a scene playing the wrong version of Todd? And did you ever use your character's different attitude to the two Todds with the wrong Todd in a scene?
Mm, I don't know, actually. I think so. Maybe with wardrobe, like, that might have been, but if it was, it was caught very quickly because they had amazing, like the level of organization was amazing. That someone was able to keep track of what all of these different characters were wearing in different in different like worlds, and then also in different scenes is so much.
Well, the first part of the
But
film must have been easy because you stuck the one Todd in the same damn filthy, stinking T-shirt he lived in, and yeah, how could you even get into bed with him in that? It looked disgusting.
it was pretty gross.
And the promotional material, as I said, caused the parallel. Well, no, I didn't say this actually. I was going to get to this, but the promotional material caused the parallel world Todd evil. But in fact, he isn't evil, since
Yeah.
both versions of Todd go to any lengths to get you back in their lives. You, my dear Anna, you are the whole reason for their respective journeys through universes. So it's kind of one of the Todds goes to a little bit a little bit more trouble. But do you see it as an evil Todd and a good Todd, or the same guy just wants you? Your character,
Yeah,
excuse me.
and that's the thing is I think, like obviously this world's Todd might see him as evil because of how he gets him out of the picture. But I think, yeah, I think it's just about someone who's in pain. It's about someone who has lost what was important before he was able to really acknowledge and accept it, and goes to any lengths to not have to feel the depths of that loss.
Yeah, yeah. But it all comes well. It works out to some extent in the end. I'm not gonna be saying. Um, this film, The Wrong Todd, has been garnering so many prizes at film festivals. Did any of you who were involved with this film get the sense of any magic happening at any time during the making of it?
I think we all did, in the sense of we could tell there was just something in the collaboration of what was going on. Like Anthony, our producer, would talk about how, like, when Rob was going over, like, he wants to shoot all of this in 12 days for this budget, was just kind of like, that's insane. Like, that's insanity. And I've been on other sets too where we shot the amount of pages we did, and they were just long days, like 18, 20-hour days. And this was like, honestly, we moved so quickly and efficiently, and just the whole team, like every single crew person, all of the actors, everyone gelled so well. So I think we were all very aware that there was this kind of magical thing on the set, but I think we all just kind of thought, like, it's just this thing, we're just enjoying creating it together. And because you make so many films and then they don't see the light of day, or you see the final edit and you're like, not quite as expected. And there's so many things that are so outside of your control. So you kind of learn not to count on what will happen because you just don't know what will happen.
Yeah.
And I think we knew there was magic there, but had no idea that the magic would kind of keep on coming.
And the magic keeps on coming. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I want to do a quick thumbnail with you. Let's go through some of the team here. Rob Schulbaum, we've already mentioned him several times. If you have a line or a word or even a word to describe the person, you don't have to, but you can do. He's on the screen now.
So Rob created the most incredible script and put together the most incredible team, and then somehow edited this in a way. Sean Carmichael, who plays Dave, Lucy's brother, and we both are notorious for hating to watch ourselves on film. We hate it. We go hide. And the two of us at the premiere were so nervous. And then we watched it, and it was we felt like we could enjoy watching the movie because Rob had his hand was so clearly on all of the editing, on all of the storytelling of it, and he just had such a clear vision and a voice for this film, and just seamlessly put it together.
So you can,
more than a word.
As
Sorry.
we said before, he's a man you can trust. He brought out the best of you. Jesse Rosen, who does an incredible job. I mean, this guy has to remember two lots of lines, sometimes with himself in the same scene. I think he was remarkable.
He this was. I mean, it was literally written for him. The role, because he and Rob go way back, and so he was definitely the inspiration for the short that they had filmed several years before they sat down to make the feature. And yeah, Jesse was just a workhorse in this. He had two separate characters. He had to do scenes where he was playing off of himself.
Yeah.
And we had a wonderful double for him so that we could make that movie magic happen. But he had to hold the image of who he is as Wrong Todd kind of in his mind as he's acting against that, and that was absolutely amazing, and he did such a great job of it.
He did. He really did. I have to apologize to Sean Carmichael, who plays Dave and the other Dave. For some reason, we didn't upload his photograph here, and that is a terrible shame. I'm just making absolutely sure we didn't. But Sean it will be on the website. Sean Carmichael, he too played. I mean, he played two different roles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Sean Carmichael, for anyone, he's the one with the fabulous mustache.
Yeah.
In the trailer, the absolutely fabulous mustache, and I'm so proud of Sean. I've actually worked with Sean before, and this was so much fun to get to play siblings with him, and the level of these two different characters that he created was absolutely spectacular. And Sean is actually always in drama, and he's so wonderfully funny, and he just glows in this role.
Yeah, he's exceptional job. And we have to mention, we've already touched on this, Mr. Derek K. Moore. There he is. Look, I mean, you just look at that face. There's a face that only a mother could love. No, I shouldn't say that. He's a fun guy. He plays the technician and the technician. That's his title, and he's a great technician and a good actor.
Yes, he's just the person that was meant to play that role.
Yes. There was nobody else that could have played the role as well as he did, and he was pretty menacing in a couple of scenes there. And then we have, of course, your other. We have Abby and the other Abby, who is Erin Rose, beautiful actress. She actually worked with the Colonial Williamsburg Foundation and did several years performing in several stage productions and worked with them. I mean, we can't give away anything about her role, but she just is beautiful in that role.
Yeah, and again, the challenge of playing two separate people, and she is just such a wonderful actress. I love working with her, and I just like, I know like on indie sets we just kind of get thrown in together, and you have to just act a scene. And here's this woman playing my best friend, and I just totally like, that was the first time we'd ever worked together. And the way that she just brings all of this history to it, it just felt like she was my best friend. And yeah, she was just absolutely wonderful.
She had gone hunting and she had found what she was hunting for. I also want to put on the screen right now, this is very important that I do it now because I don't want to forget. And I don't care if I cover your face slightly because this is important. This is where the film can now be seen across North America and the UK. And I mean, it's just a few on here. You'll have to check it out. There's iTunes, there's Vimeo, there's Amazon. I think I have seen it on what? Let me see. There was. I have a note to myself here because well, I'm going to give out the information in a minute, so it doesn't matter. But I think it's on Showtime too. It's streaming on Showtime, which is big deal. So you've got a whacking big audience for this. Again, for those of you who are listening, don't worry that you're not seeing this. And I think those who are seeing this, don't worry that, you may have missed some of this. But, I've got to congratulate you. We have, gone out of time here. I hope we've covered everything that should be covered for a film of this brilliance, and I hope my enthusiasm has washed over everyone, or will wash over them when they continue to watch and listen to our interview. But congratulations on this film. Have I missed anything that you'd like to add?
I would just say I feel like this is a great film for someone who wants something which will make you laugh, but also just really feel something and pick you up a little bit.
I totally agree. My guest has been Anna Rizzo, currently starring in the not to be missed feature sci-fi rom-com love story film Wrong Todd. And it can be seen all across North America and the UK on every streaming platform, distributed through Gravitas Ventures, a Red Arrow Studios company. Thank you, Gravitas, for giving this opportunity to all of us, the actors, the director, the producers, and to us, the people who matter the most, the people who are paying to see it. So thank you. I'm kissing up to Gravitas now because they're going to give him more money for the next film. So anyway, the links to get updated information on the film can be seen below the show on my YouTube channel, and by visiting my website. This is important. I'm not pitching my website because I don't sell anything on there, but my website, which is thesilverstonecollection.com, again, that's linked everywhere. It's on the podcast page of the website. There will be photos of the entire cast, the director, and there will be also, you can play the show, the podcast from there if you don't want to go to TuneIn Radio. And all the links are going to be on there, so you can direct link. But just so you know, the website is wrongtodd.com, and both Facebook and Instagram's handle on this are at The Wrong Todd. Okay? Anna's website is annarizzo.net. For those of you watching this, you've got the spelling of her name on the screen. For everyone else, the link will be there. I'm also going to have Sarah Chase's link on there. I don't know who's watching the show today live because something has gone wrong with that. They're watching it, but they can't interact with us. But not to worry. Most people will watch it again on the video. That's where we get our audience. Again, if you're watching the show on YouTube or listening on TuneIn Radio, please hit that subscribe button so you can have each week's show delivered to your feed. Anna, this has been a delight. You're a beautiful guest. I love having you on the show.
I have loved being here. Thank you so much for having me.
It's my absolute pleasure. And what I'm going to do now, for those of you who are staying with us a bit longer, we have another word from our sponsor, well, from me about our sponsor, and then we're going to play the Wrong Todd trailer again, as we always do at the end of the show. I adore having you on the show, and lots of luck in your future career. Come back for the next film, and we'll have a chat about that.
I would love that.
Okay, have a great weekend.
Thank you, too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that was our guest today, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to say come back next week. In fact, I'll say it right now. Come back next week as we continue our independent film series. I'm going to close with a word from our sponsor, and then I'm going to show you the Wrong Todd coming attraction trailer, whatever you want to call it, again, and I'll see you all next week. Have a great week ahead whenever you're listening, watching this. And let's do this right now. See you next week. Bye-bye. Best Auto Tags has been family owned and operated for exactly 70 years. Christopher Laughlin runs the business started by his father George, who returned from active duty in the South Pacific in World War II. And in 1949 he opened Best Auto Tags. Mary and George and Stacy are nestled at the Best Auto Tags at 121 East Lancaster Avenue, Paoli. Their number is 610-647-6600. And this location has its own huge free parking lot. Once you buy your car, Best Auto Tags takes over for you, which is especially welcome by new residents to PA. Best Auto Tags gets all of the paperwork sorted out and processed while you're in their office. And now the company is offering car insurance and life insurance and homeowners insurance and commercial liability insurance, all of which I purchased. The man to contact for that at C.G. Laughlin and Associates Limited Insurance Brokers is Jim McKeon, Executive Managing Agent. You can reach him at 484-318-7551. After buying my cars, I go straight to Best Auto Tags, and now I have my cars and my life insured by their insurance brokerage business located inside Best Auto Tags in Paoli, Pennsylvania. Drive away in confidence from Best Auto Tags and C.G. Laughlin and Associates Limited Insurance Brokers, where your car, business, home, and your life are all in their capable hands.
So you'll be disoriented at first. Just try and land on your feet.
And things will be different?
That's what you paid for.
Hey, Todd.
Who are you? I'm you. Slightly thinner you. Wait, what?
Look, Todd, I have a problem.
What's your problem?
You.
So what about all the stuff you said last night?
I wasn't myself last night.
He's open, he's romantic. It's like he's a whole new Todd.
What are you doing in my house?
Your house?
Dave, there's another me! And you have a mustache! Why do you have a mustache?
He's talking crazy.
He needs to see a doctor.
Is there a 24-hour mental institution I can bring him to?
I have a theory. You're not gonna like it.
What's your theory, Dave?
I don't think that's Todd.
He sent me here. He stole my girlfriend. Todd, don't you understand? I'm in the wrong universe. How many times do I have to tell this story?
Just one more time.
And then other me hit me with a frying pan. And now Dave has a mustache.
Can't I just have him committed?
No,